I got a little bit pissed off at Facebook last night, and I apologize for my post because I did put that. Facebook is dead. I really don't apologize, but I do. I don't want to come off it sounding right that I wasn't happy that I met all you guys on Facebook. I'm just so sick of the media bullshit, right? It seems like we don't really get together. We're so separated, yet we seem so together on Facebook. Is that a bunch of bullshit or not? I think it is, right? Because we're really not together. You know what I mean? Whoever picks up a phone anymore? Whoever talks on, with voice anymore? Hardly anybody. You're all in your own little world. The whole world is like this, right? The whole flippin' world is like this. They're so separated, yet they seem so together on Facebook. Well, it's crackbook to me. It's like an addiction, right? You go in there just to look at all the friggin' posts. Well, that's what I got pissed off at last night. So my apology is to my brethren here, because I know we come together, whether we're on Facebook or not, in spirit. That's outside of the physical part of this, right? I just get pissed off at the physical part of it, because after a while it just becomes dumb and stupid. But I enjoyed my night last night with my records, and I enjoyed some time with the Lord. It was great. It was nice, and that was peace to me. And I got today off again too, so I don't have to go in for anything. So I'm pretty happy about that. Good morning. It is Wednesday, and it is winter out in Alberta. Winter. I don't have to go out in the winter today, which is nice. I showed you yesterday what the snow looked like, but it's pretty crazy. It snowed all night last night again too. Insane. But it's October, it is Alberta, so that's what happens. Okay, today I'm going to talk about a false philosophy. Crazy. False philosophy. Of old, proud Gnosticism raised her silly head and denied these glories every one. This false philosophy vaunted the hyper-spiritualistic theory of the essential evil of all material substance. It explained creation by a series of angelic castes to whom it gave the name of fullness. These emanated from the Godhead, and like the rungs of a ladder, were said to reach downward to the earth. The lowest of these they blamed for the creation of all evil matter. Thus they strove to exonerate the deity from any connection with evil, which is a bunch of bullshit, because God created evil, and he created it for a purpose. Isaiah 45:7. God created evil. He is connected with evil. Why? Because of the contrast, because of his creation and the lesson from that, the lesson of contrast from it. So to try to exonerate God from any evil whatsoever, it's like saying, the devil made me do it. But these are not God's fullness. Some of them, at least, would have emptied the divine majesty of his glories if they could. The Gnostic pleroma could only create matter intrinsically evil. But since he alone deserves the distinct dignity of doing all of the work of creation, we may deduce that matter is not evil in any sense. Matter is not evil. However, it may be soiled by sin or missing of the mark. But more than this, not only has material no inherent evil in its constitution, but it is an agent in sending sin out of the universe. Conciliation was effected by the blood of the cross. Reconciliation is brought about through the death of Christ's physical body, the body of his flesh. Colossians chapter 1, verse 22. This falsely named knowledge, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20, not only robbed God of his glories as creator, but blotted out the Son of God, the real fullness or complete complement through and in whom all the divine activities find adequate expression. It insinuated into the mind a base and inglorious conception of his character, and though he could be interposing subordinate powers between himself and his creation, casts the blame of evil upon them. But far worse than this, it placed a gulf impassable between his creation and himself. Endless eons might roll on, judgment fires might destroy the whole, and yet the sting would still remain. A shattered world, a ruined universe, a thwarted and dishonored God. How dark a picture is this? And yet it serves its purpose well. The darkest night displays the starry heavens best with the background of darkness. See, the stars are displayed through that darkness. So understand that God is going to dispel that darkness eventually. And that means reconciliation of his whole universe. And here we have a cluster like Orion, brightest of the starry hosts. And the real fullness can find no lodging in the menial minions of the Gnostic Lie. The Son of God alone is great enough to harbor it. He is God's image, creation's firstborn, seed, agent, object, head, and unifier. But greater far than all this galaxy of glory, he alone, midst sin and disaffection, provides both God and his creatures with all each needs to effect a complete and perfect reconciliation. Well nigh lost in the dominating doctrine of the pleroma or complement, Gnostics were well acquainted with the term, for they invented it to support their theory of the inherent evil of all substance. They applied it to the spiritual powers through whom God was able to effect the material creation without incriminating himself. But the apostle not only transfers all this to the Son of God to show his solitary preeminence, but also removes the term to the field of reconciliation. The Gnostic fullness is strange to Creator and his creatures, and the real fullness, the Son of God, reconciles them to their Father. Okay. So this Gnostic belief that all matter is inherently evil is a bunch of crap. It was created for a purpose, and God set it out for a purpose. This is why I said yesterday he formed the fugitive serpent. It was with power. It was with power and strength that he formed the fugitive serpent. And he's been a fugitive ever since. And this is for God's purpose. Eventually to bring the whole universe back to himself. It has to be dispersed. And that disbursement was the formation of the adversary or Satan. Okay, that's my rant for today. But it's beautiful. When you really see the truth that God has created evil for a purpose, then you'll understand that it's not bad at all. So you cannot exonerate or try to leave God out of the picture when it comes to evil. Because the truth is that he did it for a purpose. Oh, how can God be connected with evil? Oh no, Lord, that can't be right. You know, this is the Christian way, eh? The onward Christian soldiers marching off to war. We're gonna stomp out all the evil by ourselves and let God out of the picture. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was. But yeah, that's what it is. We try to get rid of God out of the universe. And this is what's happening. You can see it all around us. They're trying to get rid of God completely out of the whole picture. Okay, let him sit on his celestial height of glory, you know, drinking a margarita or whatever, and forget about what's going on the earth. They'll have to come to me. I ain't going to them. I ain't going to force them to believe in me or Christ. I'm not going to do it. I'll sit back and drink my margarita. And they'll eventually come to me. If they don't, they'll go to eternal torment. This is the whole premise of that. It's a bunch of crap, and it's horrible, 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 heinous teaching. It is fear teaching. Demonic. To its very core. That's exactly what it is. Eternal torment is demonic, and it is fear teaching. Don't adhere to it at all. I love you all. Have a wonderful day in the Lord. Grace and peace.